Hey everyone, Handpanmoves here, and today we're gonna brave into all the harmonic possibilities of your G minor pentatonic RAV Vast. Okay, the first thing to do is to find all notes present in the instrument. In this case, it's a G minor pentatonic. We're gonna start from the first pitch, the central one, which is a G. Directly straight down is the D, and then F, G again, B flat, C, D, F, and G. Central note again is a G. First note directly down is a D. Second note is an F. Third is a G. Fourth is a B flat. Fifth is a C. Sixth is a D. Seventh, F, and the eighth note is a G. So from now you can already see that we have a D, an F, and a G on the bottom of our instrument. And we have the same notes on the top, D, F, G, an octave above. So which means if we draw a central line, the bottom and the top of the instrument are mirrored, having the D here and the D here, the F here and the F here, and finally this G here and the G here. The middle notes are the only notes that don't contain an octave, which is the B flat, my fourth note, and the C, my fifth note. So we can think of the instrument as having a central axis, and the rest is mirrored. Seeing the instrument geographically spread around into north and south poles will help you when improvising, because you can easily find your octaves: D, D, F, F, and G, G. Another important thing to understand is why this is a pentatonic minor scale. Well, first thing, pentatonic, so 5 sounds. This is not an octaphonic scale, which means we don't have from G to G all the notes containing on the G minor scale. We have a pentatonic scale within G minor. So we have 5 notes out of 8. If we start from this G here, we can easily see the pentatonic. G, B flat, which is the minor third, C, which is the fourth, D, which is the fifth, F, which is the seventh, and G again, which is the octave. So the scale would start again here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notes. So inside this instrument, that is the central sound of it, the minor pentatonic sound. This is the minor pentatonic, the central and core sound of your instrument. It has this beautiful quality to it, very peaceful, perfect for meditation, yoga, or simply for improvising practice. Now we're going to look at all the interval possibilities within your G minor pentatonic RAV Vast. Let's start with the octaves. We've seen that before, but it's worth to repeat that between my north and south pole of the instrument, we are mirrored here, which means we have octaves in between those 6 notes. These 3 bottom and these 3 on the top. Starting from the D, I'm going to find my octave here. From F, my octave is here. And finally from G, my octave is here. We have one more octave which is between the central note and the third note. So I have my central note G and G an octave above. Same thing can be implied with the NARV part of our instrument from the central pitch, G2 to G4, 2 octaves. We start with the intervals of a second. And we can find one right in the beginning between second and third notes, F and G. That's a major second. Second possibility, from B flat to C. Another major second. Third option, from C to D. Another major second. And finally, our last major second is the octave above from F to G, which you can find right here between our 7th and 8th notes. Now, intervals of a third. First, we have from D to F. That's a minor third. Second possibility is from G to B flat, another minor third. And finally, from B flat to D. That's a major third. Since you're mirrored, we have another possibility of a third, which is the same from D to F, but now an octave above. D and F. Another minor third. Now we're going to look into intervals of a fourth. Our first one is located with our second note, F, and B flat. The second one is from G to C. Or between our third and fifth notes. And finally, the last one, from C to F. From our 5th to our 7th notes. Now we're going to look into the intervals of a fifth. We start between our central note and the first note, G and D. Followed by the second note and the fifth note, F and C. Finally, from our 5th note to our 8th note, C to G. Now we move to intervals of a sixth. We start from D to B flat, 1 to 4. That's a minor sixth. Another one is from our second note to our sixth note, F to D. And that's a major sixth. Last option is from our fourth note to our eighth note, B flat to G. That's another major sixth. We have two possibilities of sevenths, and between those two we have two octaves possibilities. First one is the fundamental note, G, and the second note, F. That's a minor seventh. Second one is between the first note and the fifth, D and C. Another minor seventh. Finally, we repeat the first seventh but an octave above, between the third note, G, and the seventh note, F. Again, a minor seventh. The harmonic minor offers one possibility of ninth, which is between our second note and the eighth note, F to G. That's a major ninth. Okay, now that we finished looking at the interval possibilities of our G minor pentatonic, we can start exploring some chords. Chords can be made of triads, or 3 notes, or tetrachords, which are composed of 4 notes. We are starting with chords of 3 notes. The first one is between the fundamental note, the first note, and the third note. G, D, G. This is your first and most fundamental chord in this instrument. Composed of roots, fifth, and octave. This chord has no third. We do have a G chord with the minor third, which is between notes 3, 4, and 6. G, B flat, and D. We can also invert this G minor chord starting from the third. So notes 4, 6, and 8. B flat, D, and G. It is basically the same chord, just starting from the third. Now for a major chord, we have B flat major, which is B flat, note 4, D, note 6, and F, note 7. Again, we can invert this chord, starting again from the third on the D an octave below. So notes 1, 2, and 4, D, F, and B flat. This chord contains one more inversion. Now, starting from the fifth of the chord, the F. Notes 2, 4, and 6, F, B flat, and D. Again, we have the root of B flat major, the first inversion starting from the D, and the second inversion starting from the F. Let's hear how that sounds. That's the root position. Now, first inversion. And now the second inversion starting from the F. We have one more chord that lacks a third, which is an F major chord. The notes are second note F, fifth note C, and seventh note F. This chord goes really well with our fundamental chord, which is G, D, G. Let's hear how that sounds. We can also use the second inversion of the B flat major to prepare for the F chord, finally to the G chord. Let's hear how that sounds. Again, this is the B flat major. You can also add the D here. For a more complete version of the chord, followed by the F chord, finally arriving at the G minor chord. Following this idea, we can keep the F here and play the G minor chord. That is a tetrachord, or a seventh chord. So we have the G, the B flat, and the D. This is my minor triad, my G minor triad. If I include the F, it becomes a tetrachord. So it's a G minor with a seventh minor. So let's hear how that sounds. It's the same minor chord with one added note, but it sounds very different, right? If we change the B flat to C, just one note, and keep the G, the D, and the F, we yet get another chord. That's a suspended chord. It's a D without its fifth, which would be the A, which we don't have in the scale. But we substitute the A for the G, which is here. And we have the seventh of D, which is C. So this will be the root of the chord, D. That's our minor third, F. This is our supposedly fourth, so it's a suspended chord because I bring the fifth to a fourth. So instead of A, which we don't have in the scale, we use the G. And finally the seventh, which is here. So the chord sounds like this. Now let's hear between the difference between G minor 7th, which is with our B flat, and this D sus 7, suspended 7th, which is going to have the 7th here, the C. So we change from B flat to C. Those are the only notes that change. Now let's hear how that sounds in sequence. I hope this content was useful to you. Thank you for watching, and until next time.